The Active Directory database stays synchronized across domain controllers through the process of replication. There are two types of replication. One is replication that occurs between domain controllers that are part of the same site, which is intra-site replication, and the other is replication that occurs across sites, or inter-site replication. I've opened Active Directory Sites and Services. This is where you manage replication. Notice that we have two sites, Atlanta and Denver. Usually you won't need to configure replication within a site, but if you do, you need to select the site and configure the NTDS site settings. I'll double click that, and you can change the default schedule. Notice that it occurs once per hour on default. That's just a backup. Normally, replication doesn't rely on that setting because it's done within a site on a notification basis. When a domain controller has a change, it will notify its replication partners, and they will request the update. Inter-site replication, replication across sites, for example between Atlanta and Denver, is managed by inter-site transport objects. Under the inter-site transports container, there are two types, IP and SMTP. And usually IP will be the transport that you'll use. If you relied strictly on SMTP mail to get updates between domain controllers, then you would configure an SMTP site link. There's a default IP site link that's automatically created. If we open the properties of this, you'll notice that Atlanta and Denver are currently both connected using this site link. I'm going to rename this site link object. I like naming my site link objects based on the sites that they are linking. Atlanta-Denver, and press enter in this example. Let's go back and look at the properties of the site link again. Notice that you can configure the cost of the site link. The greater the cost, the less likely that that site link will be used in replication. So if there were multiple ways to get between Atlanta and Denver, perhaps there are other sites that are connected in a mesh type topology, replication would occur between sites based on the total cost of the site links from one site to another. You can also change how often replication will occur across this site link. By default, it's every 3 hours or 180 minutes. And then you can change the schedule when this site link will be available. Now you want to make the schedule available at least for a 3-hour period so that replication will occur. Notice that by default, replication is available always. Here are the days that are available to configure replication, and here are the hours that I can make available or not available for replication. So Monday, let's say from 7 in the morning until 8 at night. On Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday also, I do not want replication to be available. Let's click OK to configure this change. And now replication will only occur when it's available between Atlanta and Denver. And replication partners will pull one another or query one another for changes every 180 minutes when the site link is available across the site link. Let's click OK to apply that change. And one other thing that I want to point out is that where are those settings actually stored? If you go and browse to a computer, under the NTDS Site Settings node are connection objects. usually automatically generated, and you shouldn't have to do anything with them. But it shows that Computer 1 will receive updates from Computer 2 and also from Computer 3. If you open the properties of the connection object, you'll be able to see where it's replicating from, and especially important, you'll be able to see which partitions specifically are being replicated. The configuration partition is being replicated fully or partially. So let's cancel that. If you ever need to manually force replication, for example, suppose that an update was made in Atlanta that needs to be replicated to Computer 1, you could right-click this connection object and say Replicate Now. It will attempt to replicate across the connection, and that's how you force replication. Forcing replication causes replication right at that moment rather than waiting for the site link to be available.